Yo, and welcome to another episode of Roy's Podcast. I'm Roy Spencer.
And I'm John Rodriguez, and this is Roy's Podcast. So, Roy, a lot of stuff going on. We're going to touch on the stock market, crypto, cannabis, NFTs, everything you want to hear, all right?
Hell yeah.
So, let's get straight into it. Last week, you had a prediction on the TQQQ, and let's recap it. How did it go?
So, last week we were talking a little bit about what was going to be going on in the TQQQ, which for people that don't know is a representation of the Nasdaq's top 100 stocks, and they have it at a leveraged amount. And what that means is it's whatever the Nasdaq moves, it moves in like 3 times that way. So if it goes up 1% one day, then if the Nasdaq goes up 1% one day, then the TQQQ is up nearly 3% that day. And so it's a bet on the bullish movements of the future. So what I was talking about and what we'd been hearing a lot in the market recently is that there was an ability for a crash. We talked last week about September 17th being, on average, the worst day for stocks in the market. And what happened? 2 days after that, the market crashed. At one point, the Nasdaq was down by 3.5% in one day, which is crazy because this is not sell-offs that we see too often. But because of what we talked about here on the show, we were well set up. I'd been telling you guys keeping money on the sidelines, and we talked about getting in on good stocks right there at the bottom. As brought in on the last show, I had marked out that the TQQQ had some support levels. The first support level was at 128. The second level of support was at 120, and the third level of support was at 111. The TQQ fell in that week from around 142, bounced off the 128, and is now back sitting at around 137. For those of you guys that got in at the 128 mark, you guys are about to print cash the rest of the year. Now, I'm not saying that this is like an end-all be-all and that these levels won't be tested again, but we've got good indications that these are good buying points at like the 128, and if it dips below that, then I'm going to move a little bit more money into it at around between 128 and 120.
And remember, people, Roy made money from this. He profited. He predicted right. So it might be a good idea to listen, right?
Maybe not. And so, we are just everyday Joes here on the show. We find trading to be our passion and our hobby, but we're nothing like the people that have these crazy gadgets and crazy technologies to go search through, and then they have a team working under them that they get analysis from and stuff like that. And I think one guy that has been challenging the status quo of a lot of things is a man that goes by the name of Mike Wilson, and he has a prediction for the rest of the year that says that the market is in for a deep sell-off. Up to 20% sell-off in the S&P 500.
What's his reasoning behind that?
So he has 2 different ways of rationing through it. One is called fire, and then the other one's called ice. How dramatic. How dramatic. Okay, yeah. So he says fire is that the Fed tapers. Now, we've been covering that stuff on here for a while. We've been talking about the Fed tapering. We knew that that's going to cause at least a pullback in the market. People weren't ready for it, and we'd been talking about it. I've been telling you guys to keep money on the sidelines, at least a little bit for the potential pullbacks that come around in September. Now, just because it was September, we had worries about the Delta variant. We had worries about this sell-off because of the Fed taper. We just knew it was time to keep money on the sidelines, and what really broke everything on that day was China's Evergrande. And for you guys that don't know what that is, China's Evergrande is one of the second biggest retail real estate owners in all of China, and they're facing potential bankruptcy, which is kind of crazy because they have their hands in almost everything that China does, which is not great. So China, they've got this big debate right now. Should they bail them out? Should the Chinese government give them loans to bail them out? They've already missed payments on their first loan to pay back some of their debt. They couldn't make their payments. Yeah, I'd be scared too if I lived in China. Now, I don't think that touches too much of the United States stuff because due to the United States and China's war, we really didn't have too much going on over there. There's a lot of companies that we have over here that weren't really invested into any of that. But as we've been talking about, Chinese stocks on here, what do we do with those, Johnny?
Depends on, well, obviously it depends on which ones they are.
Yeah, okay, so that's very true, but like because there's a few of them that have like very good growth potentials in the future. So it depends on even the horizon that you're looking at. But what we're not doing right now is we're not even touching them. We're keeping them at bay. We're keeping them far away because
I wanted to say that, but I was scared I was going to be wrong.
Mean, we talk about it here on the time because it's just like, remember Jack Ma, you know?
Yeah.
He got a little bit of power, and then the government told him that he was welcome to take a nice vacation with his family for a few months and not be seen by anybody. And that was for his best recommendation. So,
oh my gosh.
You know, I think we knew that these Chinese stocks were a little bit of a gamble in the first place. But now we got Chinese worry. We got their economy. Like, it's a no-go. There is absolutely no reason to be in on this. I mean, of course, you might see it as, like, it's a good time to sell options underneath it. But this is not the risk that you guys want to take on. We are into the market to make money and not just take on unnecessary risk because it presents itself with a nice potential for a return on investment. There's no return on investment if you sell put and it runs below the stock price, then keeps going until zero. Okay?
Yeah.
So not a time to hop in on something like that. But what we are talking to you about, there are some good companies in the market right now. Some of them have taken a pretty big hit from this market sell-off. I'm not saying that Mike Wilson is entirely incorrect with his fire prediction. Right. But what I am saying is his ICE prediction is something that I can't really fathom. He says his ICE prediction is something that takes our economy down by 20% of a pullback.
Oh my
now,
gosh.
What he's talking about here is he's talking about companies that are releasing earnings in Q3 and Q4 are not able to like sustainably keep the growth that they had going on in the prior quarters because people are not consuming the way that they had been before. Now, this all kind of ties back to one thought that I had on the market, and it's that people don't have money, which I just don't think is actually true. Because I think what actually happened during COVID is like the rich people got really rich and the poor people got really poor. But with what's happening and what really drives stocks, these big players that have billions of dollars, those people are on the rich side. So they have more and more money to fire at stuff. So I don't think they're going to have any sort of like liquidation problems or anything like that. They're super rich at this time. So they're just waiting for a market opportunity to go in and buy stuff. I don't think that like we see people that or companies pulling back on like their investments at all. I see like the average stock in the S&P 500, not the big giants, but the other ones have roughly from their all-time highs pulled back maybe 10 to 15% already. And
like what's an example of one of those?
We were looking at some of the stocks like Disney, other stocks like Home Depot, just kind of like those middle of like the name companies that like you kind of can like, but like what I wouldn't say is like I'm invested in them. Some companies are better used as just like benchmarks for where the economy is right now, and those are big names that like people aren't going to get away from, but they're also indications of things that we're going to be able to see. Not saying that I'm investing in any of them, but they're good benchmarks, and they've already had their big pullbacks. Companies like other companies that are essential that I think are big growth names of the future, like Caterpillar, because there's still a lot of infrastructure going on. And actually, that's something we were meaning to talk about, is that there's a giant infrastructure bill sitting around in Congress right now, which I think has a good chance of being passed. And with that...
And what is Caterpillar exactly?
Caterpillar is those, the yellow backhoes that you see always on like the side of the road, or like the things doing... Like the backhoes, like the thing with like little, and they're like always digging at the ground and stuff. That's a company called Caterpillar. And they're they're big, like they're big in Michigan.
CAT.
Yeah, CAT, and that's actually their ticker name. Yeah, and so like with the infrastructure bill, they're essential to building anything. Like you have to like use some of their equipment just to like they're like the number one name in this business. So I like if you guys are thinking that maybe I'm wrong and want to play it a little bit more defensively and I have a little bit of this as well because you never go all in on one strategy. But I like Caterpillar because things are going to be picking up for infrastructure. That's always going to be a nice name. They talked about how their margins are growing and how their revenue is increasing quarter over quarter. Wow. And so that's a solid play. And then another one that's sold off recently is Cleveland Cliffs that we've been looking at. They supply most of the materials for all this stuff, like the iron and like the minerals and whatever you need to do to actually build stuff and put stuff together.
Cement?
Cement. That stuff's coming from companies like those. So just like let's think rationally through it. Like the United States is not going to stop building stuff. In fact, we got a giant like $1.2 trillion infrastructure plan sitting out there, and these companies could definitely benefit from that. So if you guys want to play the market a little bit more defensively, I'd go with that. I also have another name for you guys that is, a little bit more aggressive. I do still see a potential for a little bit of a sell-off, so I'm not going anywhere near all in on this. Maybe a small percentage, but it's a company that we like to talk about called Aurora Cannabis. We like our cannabis stocks on here. It's a little funny, little good joke, but
get a little giggle in.
I like it. I buy it every day at 420. Just kidding. That's not a good strategy at all.
I bet you someone does, though. I bet you there is some guy out there.
There's probably some guy out there that would do that. I wouldn't be surprised. But honestly, it's kind of funny because it's sitting at $6, and I'm selling its puts at the $4 mark and the $4.50 mark. And if you average those out, it's my weighted investment selling a put in that sits at around right now is at $4.20. Like that's the average mark that I'm hitting, meaning that I'm selling puts more at the $4 mark than I am at the $4.50 mark, and I see that's not a big investment at all for me, but I don't see it tumbling like that. I'm holding these between a week and 2 weeks out into the future, and I don't see it creeping below $4.50 to $4 anytime soon.
And with like stocks that do start to creep below like those points,
the support levels.
Yeah, the support levels. Like, would you say once it is past that, it's like almost impossible for it to, like, it's gonna continue downward or upward?
I guess like we definitely have to see it on like a situation by situation basis. So there's like a company that we've been looking at for a while called Workhorse. And they're starting to like creep up on their support levels, and honestly, because of like the suspicious behaviors that they've had, I don't see them doing very well in the future. So I think that at the end of the day, it's fundamentals that drive the underlying factors behind this. Technicals are just kind of there as like an indication, and like it's almost like as if like there is no news in the market. Where would like these points bounce off of and go up and down? So it starts with fundamentals, and if a stock is starting to sketch you out, I mean, I know why Aurora Cannabis it's sitting at $6 right now, and at the $4 mark, its return on investment for a week out is 1%, and its return on investment for at the $4.50 mark for selling a put is right at around 1.5%, which is kind of juicy for selling a put 1 week out. Just imagine that 1 week out, and you have 52 weeks in a year. And if you're able to do that reliably, then you'd make around like 60 or 70% a year, which is pretty good compared to like the S&P 500 and like the Nasdaq's growth rate. But what we're talking about here is that's potentially a good hedge. I think it got ahead of itself. One of the things that was on the horizon for them was their earnings call, which happened today. I was not able to attend that because I was not able to get a spot on that. But from the numbers, it looked like they did all right. It's not anything that people need to like go hide out around now. But it's definitely something where, because of the volatility and people being scared around it, having a bad earnings, that the options around it are very juicy. And I'm willing to take a bite on this one. A small bite, at least. And I think you guys should too.
When the market's not doing well and, it's not performing how you want it to perform, why not start, dabbling with the options if you haven't yet?
Dabble a little. Like, like when we talk about like, hey, let's keep our money on the sidelines, like we are waiting for these golden opportunities. Now, it's not best to be trading at all times because you're bored and you want to hop in. And we are looking for golden opportunities here. What me and J-Rod are looking around doing every single day is we're looking at stocks, we're looking at cryptos, and we haven't forgotten about the cryptos yet. But we're checking them out. We're looking to see if there's good names on the horizon, and we're executing trades, you know? Even if the stocks are down, if the overall market's down, there is a stock that is up somewhere, and it's got a bright future ahead of it. And what we're doing here is we're looking for those golden buying opportunities. We're letting you guys know about them, and we're letting you know how we're going to play the market going ahead. We don't think that it's going to crash like anybody's talking about. We might see a bigger pullback past what we've seen now and rebounded from. But I don't think it's anything that like people need to go hide under a rock about.
Would you say the big whale investors, the ones that, you know, like, do you think that they will kind of spread that fear so that they're driving the price down, like it's a tactic of theirs?
Yeah.
Okay.
They love to be in on that. They hop on these news reports. Oh my gosh, everything's going to zero. Okay, well, naturally somebody's going to have a reaction to that and be like, I got to sell immediately. And then they're just sitting there, and what people don't know is that they have like their price buying opportunities plotted out for like 5 or 6% below that. And when you sell right into their buying opportunity. And then the next day, it's no wonder that it's up like 5 or 6% because they bought the dip. They bought the dip and they pushed it back up. And then you got played.
You played right into their palms. Yeah.
You got played, sucker. So that's also like you just can't trust all the news that you hear out there because you don't know who's got investments and what. And you know, it's definitely something that you should check out, but not everybody discloses what they're holding. And so, like, don't just take it willy nilly. Actually, the best way that I've found to do it is when somebody analyzes stocks. The only way to see if they're actually like believable is just track their performance. See what they say. They can't lie with the numbers. They put out reports. They talk about what they're doing. If they put out reports and then you go back and check out their prior trades and they suck, that person's not reliable. Let's look for people that are. And here on the ROIS podcast, we'd like to say that we're part of you guys' best friends because I don't know. It seems like me and Johnny have been nailing them. We seldom miss on here. And we do it for you guys. We want to put out a good product for you guys, and we want you guys to be making the dough when everybody else is telling you to take it slow.
Honestly. And it's those people that, you know, don't get scared away, that, you know, the people who aren't scared of the risk, it might not even be that big of a risk for you, depending on who you are. But, like if there's something that has value, and you know it has value, and you've done your research, and, you know, you're looking at the right people, like you were just saying, like the right people to look at in terms of their investments and what they're saying is going to happen, you should be golden. You know, like you just gotta do your own research. I feel like is so important.
Do your own research, and when more and more analysts come out with like, I guess, sell, you know, don't go all in on something. You know, play the waters a little bit just in case they're right, but track and see how they're doing. And see like what their performance looks like, and then like we're gonna follow the investors that over time are very accurate with what they've been predicting, at least on the stocks that they're predicting it correctly.
Right.
Okay. And one stock or security, my bad, that we like to talk about on here that we've been predicting pretty correctly is something that goes by the name of Solana. So Johnny, I'm gonna let you take it away on this. What are you seeing here?
So Solana, as you guys know, ROIS podcast, ROIS Investments favorite. You know, we've been with it since, it was a baby. You know, sitting at $30, and you know, shot up like about a month period to $210, which is insane, obviously. And so, you know, of course, it's going to go back down. It's got to you know, it's going to level out to where it should be. Like you were saying, sometimes, you know, these things will go below the support level. Yeah, support level. But with crypto, you guys got to remember, it's so volatile. If it goes down like $5 below the support level,
that doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. Like, if you look at Bitcoin's history as well, like it does the same thing. Like every year, it's like people are, they'll every like 3 to 4 years, people just start tweaking balls when they start to see it drop. And it's just like, dude, like, haven't you noticed that this has been happening like since Bitcoin has become kind of mainstream in a way?
Oh yeah.
Like, so just, you got to recognize those patterns. You can do it on CoinMarketCap by just looking at, like the 5-year, chart, and then also, watch videos on it as well. But to get into Solana, they have so much going on, especially something that's very special that has been happening with Solana is their NFT exchange.
Right.
They have been cranking out these exchanges. They got Solana, they got Digitalized Market, they have SolSea, which is like coming out, which is going to be the easiest user interface for NFTs on this like Solana blockchain. Like, it's going to be like OpenSea, but you're not going to be getting robbed every time you try.
Wait, why not? Is it because of these things that we call gas fees?
Yes, it is because of the gas fees.
And what is going on with these gas fees? Why is Ethereum charging you out the kazoo for gas?
Because people are, it's all based off of the amount of transactions going on at that time, how busy the network is.
And they're not able to scale forward for the future. And these transactions are piling up. And so the gas prices, they can't go down until like their entire system switches over to what was supposed to be Ethereum 2.0. But they're not making any progress on that because it's going to be super challenging for them to get there. And now look at the other thing that we're talking about. We're talking about Solana here. Solana, on the other hand, was built to have this scalability for the next transaction and the transaction after that. And that's why we're here for it. The gas fees on Solana should be very doable for a good amount of time. And like, what we're not saying is that like it won't go up. We're not saying that. What we're saying is like right now it's built for like the next and the next and the next transaction. And as it gets more popular, the gas is going to go up. But it's never going to be something that you have to worry about, like hopping in for an Ethereum gas price.
Oh yeah, no, like you don't have to worry about, if you have a MetaMask wallet set up, which is an Ethereum based wallet. If you have a MetaMask wallet set up and you have, let's just say, a certain type of token, or no, if you even have USDT in there, just normal fiat currency, but like the crypto version, and you try to swap it for Ethereum, you're getting charged for that too. It's ridiculous. Screwed. Yeah, it's literally ridiculous. Like, but with Solana, and you know what? The transaction too, once you do it on Ethereum, it takes like it could take anywhere from a minute to 5 minutes to who knows. Like, it literally depends. Because I've done it before and I didn't receive the funds. It wasn't received until like 2 hours later. It's just like crazy. Like, but with Solana, Roy experienced this today actually.
Yes.
So he set up a Phantom wallet, which is the go-to wallet, I would say, for the Solana blockchain. Right. Because you can store Solana-built cryptos on there, NFTs, etc. And Roy, was it not within 15 seconds that you sent the Solana to me and it was there like that?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's there.
Honestly, I was amazed by the transaction time. Like, I think that's amazing because like that's like when I sent it, like, kid you not, like I sent over three like a good amount of Solana, and it was with Johnny in 15 to 20 seconds. And like that's speeds that like Chase Bank is running at for like transactions of like $200 and $300. Like it's just kind of crazy because like of just like how well they're doing with like their quickness, their speed, and how like it's being set up for just like the scalability aspect of it is off the charts. And so I think this story deserves a little bit more of a dive into, maybe a little bit, because what were we doing with that money, Johnny? What were we getting ourselves into today?
So the big hot topic that everyone's talking about, you hear it from Logan Paul and you'll hear it from Mark Cuban, like Elon Musk, like NFTs. So a fungible token. Now, basically, what an NFT is you're taking so you can take like an image you have, and you can literally, for Ethereum, you can take that image and just it's automatically made into an NFT by posting it up onto this Ethereum OpenSea like exchange. But with Solana, it's so much newer that it's a little different. That's why with Solana, I think the most beneficial and what you'll see the greatest returns with is using Discord. Discord is so important. I've just learned this recently in terms of NFTs, because you get involved with the community, and there's like people that are literally working on the project. Even the person who started it, there'll be the admin in the Discord chat, which is crazy. And you can ask them all kinds of questions. They always have announcements. They have pre-sale giveaways and like all this cool stuff that you would not know about. A lot of people think, oh, NFTs. So I go to this exchange and then I'll buy one and then I'll sell it for a higher price. Yeah, that you can do that. But why not get in on the actual collection itself while they're being minted? For example, me and Roy, we got ourselves what we'd like to call a little soul snail.
For the soul. For the soul.
And now these snails, they're really cool. So the minting process is like this. They originally, we're going to have 5,000 soul snails. But, it's all based off of who goes and mints it. And there's a limited time too. So soul snail it just turned out to be very lucky. I'm going to say lucky because only 400 were minted, right? And that's nuts because so now those are the only snails that are ever going to be minted. So
they're all through Solana, right?
Right, generation 1 as well.
Yeah,
so if they do end up making another snail, it's going to be a generation 2 snail.
Wow.
So generation 1 is the OG thing, and that's you'll see if you've seen anything about NFTs, you'll know about soul punks, thug birds, So those ones that I just named are also Solana based NFTs, and it's so cool because they were super early, way earlier than us even, and you look at their prices now, and you can see what it was sold at originally,
right? And what they're selling for?
Oh my gosh,
they're jumping through the roof.
It's crazy. It's exactly what everyone wants to find. They're all how do I get into the NFTs? Well, I'll tell you. You go on, you get on Discord, or you go on to look up Solana NFTs, right? That's how you'll find communities. And with NFTs, the biggest thing, what I've come to find out, is having a Discord. That's how you get ahead of it.
Right. And there's a lot of people that are even doing they're letting their fans know about their trading styles through Discord. Discord is so essential for this market. One thing that I do want to touch on a little bit for people that are very new to NFTs is that minting is what turns a image or an original copy into something that is the art or something that you'd want to buy. The reason that it's valuable is because it's been minted, and that is the original copy. I can take a million pictures of whatever we have. That is not the original copy, and I don't have the rights to it. Once it's been minted, then it's saying I have the original copy, and because of that, I own it outright for now and until I sell it. And
it's a patent.
It's patent. And so what we're talking about here, and now get this is crazy. We're talking about getting in early on an NFT market for something. Me and Johnny haven't pulled back our predictions on Solana. We believe in it very heavily. The currency just itself. We're talking about getting in early on something that's going to be worth more as an NFT in something that's I don't know, it's currency price is going to increase as well. That's a double whammy. Right. That's a double whammy. So imagine you're holding your NFT, you get in on the first generation, like me and Johnny have, got in on
1.5 Solana.
1.5 Solana. Now you get there, you hold it for 5 years. Solana at that point, let's just say it's at 500, 1,000, 2,000. Okay,
Or just say 2,000.
Yeah. It's at 2,000. It's at 2,000, and now everybody, because they know it's a first generation, are willing to pay like you what like we paid 1.5 for it. You get like there's some of them out there that are selling for like 100 Solanas already, and we're talking about like that increasing and the price of Solana increasing. So somebody potentially might give you something like 1,000 Solanas at the price of Solana being nearly like 2,000. That's like nearly like that's past $1 million.
There you go, and it's all
like,
because
I just want to do like the math in front of you guys because
do it.
So like the price of Solana being $1,000.
So exciting.
And then you're able, like, you see that because it's like a first generation NFT, that somebody's willing to pay you 1,000 Solana for that, and the price of Solana is 1,000. So there's another 1,000 times 1,000, looking at $1 million there. I'm sorry, but mic drop. Like these are like, even if they turn out and they're like not crazy and they're going off the chain, the fact that like one day, because of how scalable and how like innovative this like cryptocurrency is, the fact that like it has a chance to go off, these are your money moves to put like small amounts in, forget about it, and then wake up one day and you're like, wow, I really want to go buy myself a yacht. And then you got yourself a little money to go do it with now.
And who knows, maybe you're buying a virtual NFT yacht, you know?
Hell yeah, getting in on the next ones. And
yeah.
Stuff. And so
it is crazy. It is really crazy, like, just to go on a little bit more about these NFTs, just because, like, I, had always known about it. We'd always known about it, but, like, never really, I don't know. It just seemed confusing. Get it, like, how to do it all. Like, I thought I had to make my own and stuff. But the minting, it's like when I discovered this NFT thing, I felt the same way, like the NFTs for Solana and how to like actually get in on it early. I felt the same way I did when we first talked about Solana going up to $210. So, I have a good feeling about this. If you get in now on these NFTs, you're literally, you get them 1.5. The floor price for them to sell is like 1.5. So that's super low. And and no one should be selling it for that. If they're doing that, then they're just stupid. Yeah. Because they don't obviously understand that will drive down the rarity of it.
Right. But, and also there's like the factors on it. Like you could hop in and like for the soul snails that we've been buying, like me and Johnny have been lucky enough to get soul snails that have legendary rare like
shells.
Like rare shells. We're like just rare gizmos to them, like eyes, accessories and stuff. So we were lucky to hop. We were lucky to hop in there and get that. So like just like imagine what we're saying. Like you hop in there, you make yourself a few of them, and what we're talking about now is putting down very little amounts of money for the future because we're gonna be working, we're gonna be making money anyhow. But like imagine you get yourself in on a few of these soul snails, and they're like some of the better ones, and there's a limited amount of them, and like Solana's gonna rise in the future. Somebody like it's like Mozart painting his painting when he did, or like any of these like classic like pieces of like art and whatnot, like they don't happen to become like crazy amounts of money overnight. Like they happen over time, and then looking back on this, everything's so digital. You don't need to take like 100 years for like a piece of painting to like become crazy. Technology is going to tell people where it is, how crazy it is, and like people are going to be all about getting something like that. So like just sit on it 5-10 years. And I'm saying you come back a little bit later and you got a bid out there, someone wants to give you like 500 Solanas for it. You're like,
there you go.
All right, I'm telling my boss this week that we're going to go to like Hawaii, and he ain't gonna see me for the rest of the year because screw him. I got
for the rest of his life.
Like we're done working here, and this is what Roy's podcast has always been about. We want to help you guys make those money moves, retire early, and get on doing something in your life that you really enjoy, not just work for the man. Get out there and create something that you like. That's why investing is your way to financial independence. and we're here to help you guys do that.
For real. And then one last thing, if you're going to do this, get in on the NFTs, you have to download like the extension. It's called phantom.app because it's a different, like it's a Solana based wallet rather than MetaMask, which is Ethereum. So you need the phantom.app for your wallet. And then also to get, if you want to get Solana into it, use, whatever exchange it is you're using right now. Take that Solana, just send it to that wallet address, and you'll have the Solana in there. Then you go to the NFT website, whatever it is, Snailana. We'll put or Soul Snails. We'll put a link for both of those in.
Heck yeah, just make it easy for you guys.
Yeah, and I'll put one for the wallet, just so it's easy.
Hell yeah.
And then you guys can set it up from there. It's super simple and amazing.
NFTs are for everybody. They're not just like something that you hear about. And me and Johnny are here to help you guys. We are here to help you guys. I just love this show for that because we try to make things easier for everybody, and instead of busting your guys' butt and working and thinking about this stuff 24/7. We'd love it if you do, but we want to make the process a little bit easier because we might spend an hour on it when the process took 1 minute, and then we can put it there for you, and you're able to take all that stuff, and you're like, cool, Roy and Johnny hooked me up. I'm now minting NFTs. I got in on some of these original Soul Snails, Soul Punks, whatever. And you're hopping in, and maybe just when you guys sell it for 1,000 Solana, you send us over one, just as your little token of appreciation, and we'll send you some at that point back, not Solana because that'll be a main one by then, but the next up and coming one. We'll send you a few of those.
Yeah, we'll send you a wool capital NFT, which is these cute little sheep NFTs.
Hell yeah.
But anything else, Roy?
No, I just want to let you guys know that when the big guys out there are crying wolf, you guys should be checking in with Roy and Johnny because we're here to break it down. We're not biased. We just want to see you guys succeed, and so stick with us. Let's make some money and let's get this bread.
Why not stick with the people that are actually doing what they're saying?
Yeah, and we're right. We're right. We're telling you guys, go back, watch our shows through, and watch when we said stuff. They work out like that. It's just like that, and that's what we told you guys about. You can listen to these analysts when they get on there, and they're like, oh, and then you check it out, and you're like, what the hell, man? This thing is down by 10%. They're like, wait until it bounces back, bro, and then you check it, and 3 months, and you're like, now it's down 20%. And they're like, dude, it's gonna get there.
What's the guy's name? What's the guy that you told me always does that on the Mad Money fucking?
Oh, dude, screw this guy, Jim Cramer, bro. He's a frustrating man. I mean, he has been right about a few things, and he was one of the guys that had been telling me about the September 17th being the worst thing to or one of the worst periods when one of the worst periods start up for trading. So honestly, there was a lot of people reinforcing that kind of view. So I was able to just kind of take some money out and just be just in case, just in case we're going to be on the safe side for when people are calling for chaos, but when people are calling for positivity, we know what we're doing.
Hell yeah, we do.
We're staying to I don't know, kicking butt, and we're not trying to tell you guys any stupid stuff. We're just keeping it 100.
Yeah, for real. And we're going to put our Twitter link, our Twitter handle, our Discord handle, and also TikTok, our TikTok handle.
You know what? If you guys love watching and hearing stock picks on us from here, you guys are going to love watching us draw our little support lines and showing you where the stocks can go on TikTok, because then you're going to be able to see a little bit better of a graphic, and it's only going to be a few seconds for you guys. So it shouldn't be something
so compressed and summarized in such a well way. You guys will love it.
Yeah, you guys definitely will. So check it all out. We're here for you guys, and don't be afraid to leave some comments.
Yep.
All right.
All right, you guys.
See ya.
See ya.